Hey y'all. That's gonna be my new little intro because I say hey y'all 50 times, like just sitting here, and I always have to pick my favorite one. I feel like that works because it's like my outro. I'm just gonna start doing that. Like 8 years into my career. I'm back and I have more of your Let's Not Meet stories. I'm so nervous to read. I picked out so many, you guys. I could not stop. And I also had some from last week or like 2 weeks ago, whatever, that I never read in a video because I had too many, and now I have too many again. So we're not gonna get to all of them. I'm so sure of that, but I'm gonna read as many as I possibly can. Just by the title of this first one, I need to get into it. It says, I was kidnapped in high school by my friends. Trigger warning, slight mention of violence and threats of violence. I was in high school and my friends and I were planning on going to the mall. They drove to my house, pulled up and honked the horn to let me know they were here. When I came out, the driver was at the back of the car with the trunk open. There was someone in the passenger seat and someone sitting behind the passenger. I was walking around to the driver's side to sit in the back when the person that was sitting behind the passenger seat decided to slide over behind the driver's seat just as I was about to get in. I thought it was weird, but didn't think much of it at the time, so I decided to go around to the back. When I get to the back, the driver was still looking at something in the trunk when all of a sudden, they moved back to let me pass in front of them, so between the driver and the trunk. As I'm passing by them, they quickly shoved me in the trunk and slammed the trunk down. I started to panic, and in the panic, I noticed I dropped my phone somewhere, and I'm frantically looking for it, and I realized it must have fallen on the ground when I was pushed in, so I started looking for the pull cord they put in cars so you can get out of the trunk in case you get stuck. They had cut the cord. I'm kicking and screaming, trying to get someone's attention, thinking I would not be making it out of the situation. What felt like forever had passed and we finally reached a destination. No, I'm sorry, that's so scary. And also to not even be sure that you're like going where you planned. I'm like, I don't like this. All three of the other people open the trunk and surround me so I couldn't leave. They start throwing things at me and screaming as I try to adjust from going from pitch black to light. They then drag me out and throw me on the ground and someone gets a kick in before I get up to defend myself. I look up and notice we had in fact made it to the mall. Just as I had found my surroundings, they throw my phone down and jump into the car and speed off as fast as they could. I had to call one of my friends that was in the area to come pick me up and take me home. I never called the cops because they threatened my life and I was a teenager who believed them. I never told anyone about it, but turns out they had been telling people they did it as a prank. So to the friends that kidnapped me for a prank, let's never meet again. I think that has to be one of the most fucked up things I've ever read in my entire life. And dear God, I hope you never talk to them again. Like, I'm sure you didn't because that is traumatizing. And just the way you wrote it, like I could tell you're still traumatized by it. But like, oh my God, I want to punch them. I want to punch all of them. I want to kick them. I want to shove them in a trunk. And I'm going to. I'm going to find them. God, I hated that. Okay. A man broke into our house with no motive. Like, great. Around a week ago, my roommate woke me up at around 2:30 a.m., knocking frantically on my door. I immediately knew something was wrong, and that feeling was validated as soon as I walked into the living room and there were 3 or 4 cops inside. My roommate proceeded to tell me a man woke them up by turning their lights on in their room and closing the door behind him. He then took his shoes off and put his keys on the table. My roommate, of course, said to get the fuck out over and over again, pleading with him to leave and that this was not his house, but he kept saying it was his house. He used other various excuses such as this was the address he was given, this is Macy's house and Macy let him in, or someone else let him in, but of course nobody did. He seemed to be high off of something, but the scary thing is that neither of us heard him get in. He took the screen off the window and walked right on through. It was unlocked even though we thought it was locked. We have a bunch of trinkets on our window, but still nothing was broken or knocked over. How can you be so fucked up you think someone's house is yours, yet you are still fully in control of your body movements? No, that really is crazy. When my roommate told him they were calling the cops, he simply went out to the living room and sat on the coffee table and waited for them to come. The only experience I personally have seeing him is when there was 1 police officer inside and 2 outside holding and talking to him. One of the officers opened a door to either get in or out, and without the slightest hesitation, this man lunges at us. His face looked extremely angry and agitated. It's like he didn't care at all that there were 3 police arresting him. He just needed to get inside. I could hear him screaming all the way down the stairs. What is so eerie is that nothing was stolen or broken. He seemed to really think it was his house, yet the story kept changing. I got in contact with his coworker who said he went out to the bars, but this cannot be alcohol. He does live in our complex in the building right next to us, which is also scary. I hope they kicked him out. The police arrested him for breaking and entering and resisting arrest on a felony charge, but he was released the next day with no bond. We signed our victim rights, but were not informed of his release. We called a bunch of places like courts and various police departments and kept getting transferred in circles. We did sign our victim statements, but we cannot get a restraining order unless he breaks in again or we have another incident with him. That's insane. When I spoke with his coworker again, she said they think he was roofied since he was out at a bar and apparently checked his bank statements and only spent $32. I don't think it was alcohol because he wasn't falling over, being sloppy, and again, nothing was broken, touched, or stolen. The same goes for a roofie drug. Wouldn't it make you lose control of your body movements and even unconscious and sick? That's what I was thinking. When he entered my roommate's room, he just stood there on his phone. Definitely confusing, and it sucks because we don't know why and probably won't ever find out. Anyways, if anyone has an idea of what drug this guy was on, please let me know. To the random man that broke in, let's never meet again. I feel like it couldn't have been roofies because I've been roofied, and trust me, if I tried to climb through a window, first of all, I wouldn't have been able to. Second of all of the trinkets would be off. I had absolutely no control over my body. I was limp. I couldn't even stand. So I'm like, what the? It couldn't have been that. But I guess also maybe things affect people differently, but I don't know, that's so weird and scary. This one says, strange car followed me and my friends. All right, I have no idea how long this will be. Sorry in advance. Oftentimes, I'm very descriptive without realizing it. This happened to me, 17 female, and 2 of my friends almost 2 weeks ago, but it's been lingering on my mind ever since. I'll be calling my friends Jasmine, 18 female, and Valerie, 17 female, for the sake of privacy. Jasmine had organized for the 3 of us to meet with each other and explore one of the trails near a popular landmark in my city. Shortly after arriving and beginning to walk, the weather took a drastic turn for the worse, immediately beginning to pour. All 3 of us collectively complained as we hadn't anticipated any rain and as a result had no coverage. We continued on our path, and while the weather had improved slightly, barely any cars were passing us and it was almost completely silent. I casually began making jokes about how eerie the atmosphere felt, and we all agreed. Suddenly, as an old red car passed the 3 of us, Jasmine said something along the lines of, imagine if they turned around. While we had all 4 found this funny in the moment, I looked over my shoulder minutes later only to see that the car had turned around and was slowly moving forward near the side of the road. Assuming it was coincidental, I nudged Jasmine and told them both that the car had turned around. All 3 of us laughed, but still decided to move slightly faster to be safe. Eventually, we found an entrance to a different trail and decided to continue exploring. As we walked, we discussed whether we thought the car turning around was something to worry about, deciding that we would assume it wasn't for the sake of keeping our peace. After emerging through the other side of the trail, we admired the sun as it began to disappear under the horizon, sitting on a nearby bench. Deciding it was time to return to the car, we began to walk towards the road, as we assumed the footpath would be faster than the trail. Not even 1 minute after we began to walk, Valerie stopped the both of us with a look of fear on her face. Is that the same car? Panicking slightly, I turned to see that it was, indeed, the car that we had seen earlier. Jasmine and Valerie watched for a moment as I moved closer to get a clearer view of the car. Watching as it drove through the parking lot, we wondered if the driver was a tourist who had just been admiring the view. Instead of parking in any of the available spaces, they slowly moved the car in front of the exit to the trail, almost completely blocking it. It still scares me to think about what could have happened if we had remained on the trail for just a few minutes more. Realizing what they may have been doing, I turned to the others and told them that we needed to leave, now with a sense of urgency in my voice. Valerie looked over her shoulder again to see that the car had now turned around once again and was moving towards us. We decided to move quickly, trying to avoid making it obvious that we were aware of what they may have been doing. As the car passed, Jasmine told us the man inside stared directly at us the whole time with his mouth agape. Ugh! And Weems is scaling. Oh my god, Weems, you gotta stop. I have a little staircase in my apartment and Weems is scaling. I have to go get him. Sorry, I have a little staircase in my apartment and there's a net wrapped around the banister or like the railing because they could fit through the railing and I don't want them to fall. And he likes to scale the net now, and it freaks me out every time. Sorry. And where the hell was I at? Changing our route slightly to avoid following the same path as the car, we soon made it to one of the viewing areas and decided to take some photos. Oh my god, you're so brave. Like, I would have been gone. It had almost been 20 minutes and we had assumed the car had left the area by this point. Oh, I get it. Okay, you were trying to kill time. Okay, I get it. As soon as we decided to return to Jasmine's vehicle, I look up to see the same red car passing us once again. We managed to make it back without incident. However, I've seen the same car multiple times since that day, and I feel on edge each time. To the driver of that vehicle, please, let's not meet. And then they also said, I know nothing much really happened in the story, and it could have been nothing. It's important to note that the trail was near a large lake, it wasn't a small area, and the behavior we observed was enough to make us extremely uncomfortable. No, I totally get it. The car passed us multiple times, and the only way they could have possibly done that was by doing multiple laps around the lake. I just truly hate how they blocked the exit of the trail, which they had seen us go down. No, I agree. I think it's weird. I think it's fucking weird. And I just feel like you never know, honestly, and it's better to be safe than sorry. That's all there is to it. This one is like kind of paranormal, I'm not gonna lie, but it's also Let's Not Me, and I have to read this. I have to read this to you. The girl I babysit sees dead people. No, because I also would never want to see this child again. Hi, Courtney and friends. This happened a couple of years ago when I was in high school. I didn't watch this girl for long, but I was babysitting her every Monday while her mom ran errands and took her older brother to his various obligations. This was mostly because her dad was out of town on a work trip for a couple weeks, so it was just her and I in this very large house. Although she was very sweet, this girl was a little strange all around. For example, her mom had a work dinner with her colleagues where she told me all the men there were her other daddies. More strange, she would always want to show me creepy dolls she had. She also always requested to play hide and seek in the dark, which I would decline, but she would end up disappearing into the darkest corners of the house anyways. She was only 5, by the way. I hate this child, I'm sorry. The scariest encounter I had was when she told me she wanted to go play in the basement. This did not alarm me as it was a very nice house, so the basement was remodeled. She told me she had more board games down there that she wanted to get. However, she grabbed my hand, and as soon as we're walking down the stairs, I asked her what other stuff is in the basement, thinking, you know, she'd say something like a ping pong table or a movie room. She looks me dead in the eye and said, "The dead people." I took no time to bolt back up the stairs and told her we would play upstairs the rest of the night. The creepiest part, though, was that I tried to get her to tell me more about it, but she looked very anxious and told me she meant there were spiders down there. But she said it in a very shy tone, like someone had scolded her and she knew she did something wrong. Keep in mind, this girl was not shy at all. Regardless, I was spooked and I stopped babysitting her shortly afterwards. To that little girl, let's not meet again. I'm so sorry, but if my child, I can't. There's no part of me that could handle that. Mom, the dead people are in the basement. Yeah, and you're going to live with grandma. Like, what the hell? I actually might be able to get through all these. I saved 6, and those ones were pretty short, so I feel like I can do all of them. I am gonna do all of them. Actually, the time and energy drink could have costed me my life. Creepy grandpappy and gas station clerk, let's not meet. I wanna start off by saying, 1, I love your videos, and 2, trust your gut. I had a doctor's appointment downtown before work and needed to stop for gas. I went to Speedway, first mistake, because they had a wider selection of energy drinks than my usual gas station, Holiday. I get to the Speedway near my house and it's empty, except for an old beat-up white car across the parking lot near the back of the store, with an older man sitting in it. I was uncomfortable from the moment I saw him, but I was already there, so might as well get what I came for. Start pumping my gas, and every time I look towards the car, the creepy guy is still staring at me. I finish pumping my gas, grab my mace, and quickly head into the store for the energy drink. Cherry Limeade Ghost, if anyone is wondering, so fucking good. I open the door and the little bell chimes. I look around and no one's in the store. As I pass the bathroom, I hear banging and muffled sounds, so I figured the cashier was cleaning the bathroom. I go to get my energy drink and I hear the little door chime again. I turn around thinking maybe it's the cashier. It wasn't. The old creep from the car outside strolls into the gas station wearing an all-white outfit with a white Peaky Blinders style cap and a cane, with a mini knife at the end. What the fuck? I make my way up to the counter with my energy drink and I yell out, "Hello!" towards the bathrooms where I heard commotion when I came in. Mind you, the bathrooms were behind me as I was standing in front of the register. I would have no way of knowing what's going on back there unless I'm looking. The old man suddenly appears behind me, way too close for comfort, and is staring at me. I back away from him and return the stare. The old guy does a lap around the store and comes back to stand behind me again. Closer this time. I didn't have any cash for my energy drink, otherwise I would have dipped a while ago, but I really wanted this damn drink. He did this a few more times. Each time he would stand closer to me than the last time. The last straw was him tapping his cane while walking towards me, all while smiling. "Fuck this," I said, and threw my energy drink on the counter and jogged to my car. I turned around to see if he was following me, and I see the cashier run out of the bathroom looking frantic and shaking his hands and looking around the store. I assume for me. As I get into my car and lock it, the old guy is yelling back at him, then he stops and points at me sitting in my car. The cashier starts walking towards the door. I peeled the fuck out of there before I could figure out what the intentions were. I might be overreacting, but I've spent enough time on Reddit to know that 1, gas stations aren't safe, and 2, if you have a gut feeling, trust it. My gut feeling told me if I stayed a few more minutes for that energy drink, shit would have gone down. I'm 21 years old and I can take care of myself, but 2 or more men versus 1 girl were the odds, and I did not like them. This gas station is right off of 2 major interstates, and I've had my fair share of weird encounters, but this took the cake. I just wanted an energy drink, but I got a creepy encounter I could have done without. The worst part was the old man didn't say anything. He just stared and smiled at me. Every time I saw him, he was closer than he was the last time. Creepy ass grandpappy looking pimp and Houdini gas station clerk. Let's not meet again. All of this bullshit before 8 a.m. was the craziest part. I would have stolen the energy drink if I'm being so fucking honest. You deserved it after that. You deserved a free little drink. A free little treat. No, I really don't like that. And the fact that he came out yelling at the other guy, for like, why were you yelling at him? Like, what was the issue? Unless they were like planning something because he was the one like not there. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't understand that. And it's freaking me out because I don't know what the hell their intentions were either. Okay, and last but not least, to the man taking pictures of us at Six Flags. Let's never meet again. Hi Courtney, love your videos. This story happened over 10 years ago at Six Flags during the Halloween season. I was 17 and with a few friends who were also 17 and under at Six Flags during Fright Fest one night. My friend's mom was with us too. We were going through the mazes having a good time getting the crap scared out of us left and right. While in line for the next maze, I noticed a man standing behind us was taking a selfie. I didn't think much of it until I saw he was holding the phone very high up so that only the top of his head was in the picture, and my friends and I were the main focus. Again, did not think much of it because he was middle-aged, so I'm like, maybe he's really bad at taking selfies. But I kept watching him and he took way more than just one picture. I'm very non-confrontational, so I didn't say anything. We went through the maze, had a blast, then got in line for the next one. A few minutes later, the man appeared again. He was behind us in line doing the same thing again, taking weird selfies with all of us minors in the background. There were 4 of us, 3 girls and a guy. I pointed this out to my friend's mom, who was very mama bear, and she also thought it was weird, but didn't want to say anything to me yet. Went through the maze, got in line for another, and minutes later he was right behind us again, still taking pictures. I told my friend's mom again, and she started watching him closer. Now we were on the 4th maze, and he's followed us and taken pictures of us the entire time. We decided to wait a little while before the next maze and go get some drinks. When we got in line, we saw the man now ahead of us by a few people. My friend's mom actually went right up to him and pretended to flirt with him for a minute, twirling her hair, asking him questions about himself, and then asked to see his phone. When he pulled it out of his pocket, she snatched it out of his hands and she ran right for the security guard that was 40 feet or so from the maze line. The man yelled and started chasing her. She quickly opened the camera app, pulled up the pictures, and even where I stood, I could see her scroll through like 100 photos of us all at the mazes. It was so creepy. She showed the security guard and told him we were all under 18, the youngest being 14, and that he's been taking photos of us for hours. The security guard told the man he needed to delete the pictures of us and stay away. He deleted the pictures, but 30 minutes later was right behind us again. He saw my friend's mom go get the security guard again, and when he tried to run, the guards chased him. They tackled him and threw his ass out of the park. Thank God. I love that security guards do more than cops ever will. No idea what happened to him after that, but we felt better knowing he was gone. So to the creepy man taking pictures of minors at Six Flags, let's not meet again. I couldn't even get that out. Because, girl, what the hell? I don't know if you're a girl. Yeah, I hated all those. Hated all of those. Those were all so different too. I feel like sometimes I'll pick out stories and all 3 of them will have like a similar theme. I feel like those were all vastly different. More fears unlocked. Well, that's all I have for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other creepy stories you want to share with me or the community, I will have my subreddit linked down below. I did all of my rambling in my video from Friday, so I have nothing to say because I filmed that video yesterday and I've done nothing in between yesterday and today. So I have nothing to say and I'm so sorry. I know I haven't been rambling in a lot of my videos, but I just genuinely don't have anything and I'm really sorry about that. I'm also gonna starve to death and I bought little hash browns at Trader Joe's and I want to make like a breakfast sandwich like on top of it. I saw that on TikTok and I want to do that, so I think I'm gonna go do that. But I love you guys so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye.